Hi, I am Samantha and I'm here on behalf of AIME. I just want to say, Dave, thank you so much for taking the time today to share a little bit about your experience from transitioning from retail over to wholesale. Let's just jump right in, retail to wholesale. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dave, and how you got into mortgages?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got into mortgages. I started in real estate actually, and I was an agent for about 15 years and fell into the retail side of mortgage and started with we won't name names, but a big VA lender.
Okay.
Um, and I knew I had a little bit of background because of real estate, and I've done a lot. I did notary for a little while. I did escrow for a little while. But started with those guys on the retail side, not knowing what I was doing as far as mortgage, like didn't know how to do loans, didn't know anything. And that's kind of how it all started.
Okay. So when did you actually transition from retail over to wholesale?
It was about 2015. So I was with the retail company for about a year and had been talking to a friend that was a broker back in the day. And that's how it kind of started, is it was somewhat enlightening to see what it was on the other side, what he had offered and what he had available. And it took me 6 months or so to make the decision, but that's how it went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it took you a little bit of time to get you over to our side, but what ultimately made that decision for you? Like, was there something that happened that you were like, okay, this is it, I'm going to move over? Or did you have hesitation? What types of hesitations did you have coming over to retail or from retail to wholesale?
There was a lot of hesitation, actually. Yeah, it was. I think a bit. I'm not going to say rates. Rates did it all, but that was a big piece. Is I was starting to see what he was able to offer folks and what I was able to offer folks, and there was a huge difference there. Just a lot of information that he had, and that started it kind of in motion. The hesitation piece was, it's still a little bit that way now, but a lot of it was like, you picture the broker world as like you're in this little box, right? No support, nothing around you. And it was really scary to make that. Basically all you did was just talk to people on the phone all day in retail, to this like, I'm going to have to do everything. So that was that was the scary part, I think, to make that move.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that too. Like in retail, you're thinking that brokers are just like this little box or this bubble when we know, right? Like in the retail space, it is a one size fits all. Like, why are you trying to find your perfect home with an imperfect mortgage? We have to make sure that we are finding all the solutions. And as a broker, we, like you said, have that ability to talk to our underwriters. We have more control of our files. We have the ability to shop lenders. So it's interesting always to hear like from a retail perspective, because I also came from the retail space over to broker, that support piece is always the biggest. You always think that you're kind of just like on an island by yourself. And really, when you come over, you do find out that not only do you have the ability to find a program for almost every single person that you're going to come into contact with, I'm going to find the best program for your financial needs because I have the ability to shop other lenders, right? But we're really in control of the whole process from the beginning to the end. And if we don't know something, we have awesome support around us, that we have other brokers that we can reach out to, your peers, we have groups that you can contact, right? So there's lots of support. So it's interesting always to hear that, because that was also my perspective coming over, like, is it really what it is? But I mean, greatest choice I ever made going broker.
Yeah, and you're almost taught that. It's almost like in bet, like, oh, you're not going to have that support. This is, it's funny how just once you get over on the broker side, how it's completely how opposite that is.
Opposite, then yeah, the perception that you really think it is, right? But a lot of times, like, perception is reality. When you hear something so many times, you start to, that has to be what it is. So it is always awesome, like, right, educating why going broker now is important, and not just for your own flexibility, but also for your potential clients you're going to have, and how much money you can save them, and different programs that you can offer. So What would you say is the best part of being a broker? And have you find that to be helpful with your clients?
I think the best part is that optionality of what you mentioned, right? The ability to find a lender that matches the client versus trying to squeeze them into this little box that they may fit or may not fit in, or not being able to offer them the best product that's for them. It's so important for me that the client has a good experience and being able to have that choice versus working for one place that may not be the best experience for what they want or what they need. So that piece to me is huge for the clients as well.
I love it. And would you
Yeah.
say that there's any particular story that might stick out to you that being a broker, you were absolutely able to get this done that maybe in retail would have been a no-go? Do you have any type of story you could share with us?
Oh man, there's so many. I think it's almost daily, and there's maybe no one story that stands out, but I moved, so I came from a VA lender. They did a lot of VA loans. And that's, the name of my company. We do 75-80% of our deals are VA. And that's almost it's you know the big part of my day. We hear about these stories day in and day out. I've got quite a few loan officers that work for me, and we hear that story day in day out. I was told no, or we only this credit score or that credit score, we weren't able to do this, or this rate. This is what we could buy because we were stuck at this interest rate. So I don't know if it's one story that stands out over others, but it's daily that we hear these stories about how much better we're able to serve the veteran community with having those options available for them.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love hearing those things because you're really right. What you're saying is true. It's not always just one story that sticks out, but it could just be the day in and day out, right? You took someone from having one credit score with a one DTI from a specific bank or credit union or whatever it may be, that now they're able to afford, say, 25,000 more in purchase power just simply because you are a broker and your rates are a lot cheaper and you are able to give them that flexibility. That could mean, a family going from a 2 to a 3 bedroom house. Like that could
Yeah.
really change somebody's direction in which they're shopping, and being told no somewhere and being able to find a lender that meets their needs. So I love everything you had to say, Dave. I appreciate you taking the time today. We appreciate you in the broker community. If you should ever need anything, you can always reach out to AIME, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks.